we've got plenty of news from the world of gaming this month. Starting us off, Respawn Entertainment, the studio behind Apex Legends, Jedi Fallen Order, and Titanfall, have recently updated their job listings for an unannounced title, described as a single-player FPS, set in the Apex/Titanfall universe. From this specific wording, it appears as if the project won't be the long-awaited Titanfall 3, as painful as this may sound, but more likely a spin-off title, not connected to the Titan Wars, or the Apex games. Being solely a single-player experience is perhaps the most surprising revelation of all, but as previously stated, this is the same core studio behind the campaign of Modern Warfare 1 and 2, as well as the seriously impressive single-player story of Titanfall 2. Although not being specifically related to Apex Legends or Titanfall, the single-player direction and excellent reputation of these developers leaves a lot of potential for this project, even when, as it stands, it will still likely be years before we even know what it's actually about. Viewers might remember how in last month's episode, we talked about how it would take a person roughly $110,000 to fully max out a character in Diablo Immortal, Blizzard's new free-to-play mobile offering.
Right.
As crazy as this sounds, we would later find that we had given the game too much credit, as a hidden progression system would raise the max level requirements to anywhere between $300,000 to $600,000. Since then, Blizzard CEO Mike Ibarra would officially make a statement on the game's monetization strategy by saying, quote, "When we think about monetization, at the very highest level it was, how do we give a free Diablo experience to hundreds of millions of people, where they can literally do 99.5% of everything in the game? The philosophy was always to lead with great gameplay, and make sure that hundreds of millions of people can go through the whole campaign without any costs." From that standpoint, I feel really good about it, as an introduction to Diablo. Of course, this might have meant anything at all if it didn't cost as much as $600,000 to level up a single fucking character. For context, if a person were to put the same amount of money into an investment account with a historically average return of just 5%, they would still be making $30,000 a year without even lifting a finger, which is twice the US minimum wage. What this means is that a person can either choose to max out a single character in Diablo Immortal, or have the ability to buy a full-priced game every single day of the year and still gain $8,000 from interest anyway. Tune in next month for more investment tips, brought to you by Activision Blizzard. Diablo Immortal has already been banned by Belgium and the Netherlands for violating their anti-bullshit laws, while the United Kingdom has shown its own British sense of disapproval. In early July, the UK government warned the gaming industry to either self-regulate or be regulated, which sounds a lot like your parents telling you to behave, or they'll turn the fucking car around. Whether this actually happens anytime soon is anyone's bet, as this month, the UK government seemed far more occupied with removing its previous Prime Minister from office. Those who want to know more can tune into our regular news at the end of the month. Industry giant Ubisoft had plenty of news to share this month, but not all of it was positive. To start, its long-awaited pirate title, Skull and Bones, was finally given a gameplay overview trailer, which featured ship customization, progression, and our first look at what the game is actually about. Skull and Bones has now been in development for nearly 10 years. First envisioned as an expansion of Assassin's Creed Black Flag, before being spun off into its own project. The title has come under multiple changes within its development, initially taking place in the Caribbean, before then being revamped into a fictional setting, before finally being set in the Indian Ocean. The project has reportedly cost the company more than $120 million over the course of its development, which would be more than the likes of GTA 4 and The Elder Scrolls Skyrim, even when accounting for inflation. Long delays and frequent direction changes don't usually inspire confidence for a fantastic end product, but we won't know for sure until the game launches on November 8th this year. The company would also announce that it would be making a lot of internal changes to allocate resources to projects that are considered higher priority. These internal shifts involve delaying its upcoming Avatar game, as well as outright cancelling its planned Splinter Cell VR title, and the infamous Ghost Recon Frontline, the upcoming battle royale, that made headlines after its announcement was received particularly poorly. Furthermore, the smaller scale spin-off title, Assassin's Creed Rift, has also been reportedly delayed until around mid next year, which if early leaks are to be believed, will be a stealth-focused title set in the Middle East. This is not to be confused with Assassin's Creed Infinity, which seems to be a live service title, complete with multiple settings. If I were a betting man, I'd guess that the plot will revolve around players themselves getting access to an Animus-like device, which will allow them to explore a number of different settings and time periods as the same avatar. This would allow the developers to add whatever the fuck they wanted over time, while also allowing multiplayer functionality. Viewers can tell me whether I was right when we learn more about the project in a few months. In the opinion of this game enthusiast, Ubisoft culling many of its projects very much seems to be for the greater good, as I've long stated that the company would be far better off aiming for a handful of truly original S-tier products than trying to spread itself too thin with its current development philosophy. Meanwhile, the developers of Warframe announced their new game, titled Soulframe, which seems to be a high fantasy parallel of the original. Hideo Kojima was briefly mistaken as the guy who assassinated the Japanese Prime Minister, and Fallout modders are being hired by Bethesda to work on Fallout 76. One of this month's hot topics revolve around NFTs and the gaming industry's strange fascination with the money-making scam. For those who aren't aware, an NFT, or non-fungible token, is a financial security consisting of digital data, which is stored in the blockchain. However, you probably know them better as the very expensive pictures of funny monkeys. Truly, the Beanie Babies of our time. During the peak of COVID, NFTs were reaching absurd prices, with the most expensive being sold in October last year for $6.9 million. Nice. Since then, NFTs have followed the same fate as cryptocurrencies and have most recently dropped significantly in value. This hasn't, however, stopped a myriad of gaming CEOs from seeing another opportunity to make a quick dollar. Earlier this month, GameStop launched their very own NFT marketplace, shortly after letting go of a number of GameStop and Game Informer staff. Although costing GameStop millions of dollars to create, its NFT marketplace did not live up to the imagined great heights of its conception, with its first day bringing in less than $45,000, while its second day couldn't even crack $19,000. GameStop was quite famously involved in a short squeeze controversy in January of last year, which saw the company's stock price rise by over 30 times its value, giving the retailer a rare chance at a revival. It's sad to see that in the infinite ways the company could have started one of the most impressive redemption arcs of the gaming world, they instead decided to cash out on an unsuccessful NFT marketplace. GameStop weren't the only ones to dabble in the NFT space, as most recently, the game studio created by Dr. Disrespect is requiring backers of the game to purchase an NFT in order to playtest an early build. This is normally something that a studio would pay professional game testers to do, so if there's one thing for certain, Dr. Disrespect is certainly living up to his name. However, not everyone is jumping on the NFT train, as late this month, Mojang, the creators of Minecraft, publicly stated that NFT integration with the game is, quote, not something we will support or allow. Mojang went on to say that they will continue to monitor the evolution of blockchain technology, but have no plans to integrate it with Minecraft. Meanwhile, Skate 4 has been officially named Skate and will be free to play, and a $20,000 reward has been placed for anyone who can pull off a no-death Halo 2 legendary lasso run. CEO of Unity Technologies, the leading indie developer game engine, made unfortunate headlines this month when it merged the company with IronSource, a software company that specializes in app monetization and distribution. On the surface, this merger sounds like a perfect fit for the company, as it would presumably make it easier for smaller development teams to monetize their titles. However, ironSource is also famous for developing InstallCore, which was a malware installer that pushed ads for various downloads, something that even Windows Defender won't let your PC install. Although now discontinued, some developers took issue with the merger, stating that if the platform hosting their game couldn't be trusted, then no amount of app monetization in the world is going to make them a single fucking dime. CEO of Unity, John Riccitiello, made famous for being head of Electronic Arts when it was consistently winning the title for worst company in America, would then expertly make the situation even worse. When discussing developers who chose not to focus on implementing monetization early into development, he called them, quote, the most beautiful and pure brilliant people. They're also some of the biggest fucking idiots. Of course, in many ways, Mr. Riccitiello has a point about keeping a game financially viable and developing a solid business plan, but in the context of his previous track record, this really didn't earn him any respect from game developers. He would later apologize for his comments, stating that he could have worded his intentions more clearly and that he merely wants to give developers the tools to better understand their players and act according to their feedback. Although it feels like it was released yesterday, Breath of the Wild is now 5 years old, and as of this month, thanks to modders, you can now play the game cooperatively. Developed by Coop, the mod allows up to 4 players to play cooperatively on a single split-screen system, and lets players tackle quests, engage in makeshift PvP, and take on boss fights cooperatively. The mod is, however, exclusive to the Wii U, and judging by Nintendo's track record, they are likely to send their team of fun police to shut down the project at any day. This is in stark contrast to Bethesda, because say what you will, but these motherfuckers build shit with modding in mind, and as it turns out, fans of their games were also in the mood for some cooperative shenanigans. Skyrim Together Reborn was finally released to the public this month, which is a mod that allows players to band together and collectively devour the entire country's supply of cheese wheels. I actually went ahead and tried the mod myself earlier in the month, and although it took around 90 minutes to get everyone prepped and running, we did indeed manage to play with 5 people all at the same time. Whether I could recommend the mod is another question entirely, as frequent crashes, desync issues, and leveling bugs all seem to be baked into the experience. As incredible as it was to explore one of the greatest worlds in gaming with 4 other people, I don't expect I'll be doing it again anytime soon. With this in mind, if Bethesda releases one more version of Skyrim without adding integrated co-op functionality, I'm going to lose my fucking shit. In terms of new releases, July saw the launch of F1 22, the Forza Horizon 5 Hot Wheels DLC, and Stray. August is set for a modest set of game releases, including 2 Point Campus, Rollerdrome, Saints Row, and Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered on PC. Viewers who wish to keep up with world news from all around the globe can hit the bell icon to be notified when our regular news series goes live. But until next time, may your entire wish list be on sale, and may all your drops be legendary.